when the topic is not the topic. Do you see a lighthouse? There is no lighthouse. Okay, that was weird. Let me explain. Hi, I'm Diane, and I paint like the Fauves. Fauves. The Fauves were painting around the turn of the last century, 1905 to around 1910-ish. It was just a tiny slice of art history, but the influence that they have is absolutely gargantuan, okay? So they really paved the way to modern abstraction. And for whatever reason, I just always had an eye for abstraction. This lighthouse is called Bass Harbor Light. It is a real lighthouse. It is on Mount Desert Island, not in Acadia National Park, but near there. So very iconic place in Maine. But after that, that's really where the narrative stops. So when you're painting like the Fauves, it's really all about abstraction. It's about form and color. Once I pick a subject matter, I really don't care about reality. The Fauves being interested in these things, these abstract ideas of color and line and form, really divorced from reality. That's what it is, because I don't know. I don't really remember. I don't remember what color this was. I'm trying to get the colors and the form to work together in this kind of flattened picture plane. So the Fauves really kind of threw out a lot of the traditional ways, not all of them, okay? So we still care about composition. We still care about the picture plane being balanced. And also with the Fauves, yes, that the subject matter is recognized, but most of that just comes from suggestion, right? So like the strokes on the trees are just bold. And really so is everything else here. The sky, this is more reminiscent of the early Fauves who were practicing some versions of Pointillism. And then this motif here of seeing the subject matter through the flora and the fauna or the landscape, items of the landscape. So making this frame, that is very typical of the Fauves, a Fauve motif. This painting, this is oil on canvas. This is a heavy duty stretchers. And right now I am actually auctioning this painting off. I will put the link to my auction page in the description. So this auction is going to end on the 22nd. So if you like this and you're interested, you've been following me for a while and you're interested in having an original, definitely click that link. This is your chance. Okay. So yeah, I've been painting for about 30 years right now. And most of my work is in this vein. Actually, all of it is in this vein. I discovered the Fauves right away, really in my late 20s. And I've been obsessed ever since. And I think it's just one of those things. I haven't really kind of wavered in my interest, and especially, my education after art school. I have just done a complete deep dive into Fauvism, and not just Fauvism, but there's always overlap when you talk about artistic genre. So the Impressionists, Pointillists, Fauves, post-impressionist, and that's really like an umbrella term. So you have expressionists, but that is generally my slice of art history that I just am totally in love with. I'm a studio painter, but what informs my work is studying art history and studying all these wonderful painters that are really my muse. So I'll be talking about, not just that is my slice of art history in terms of like what informs my own work, but I also do enjoy just talking about art and culture in general. If you've been with me on my other channels, Instagram and Facebook, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Are you still here? Okay, come on. Now we can do like a super deep dive on my little Fauve obsession. Okay, so let's just take let's take a big deep dive into this. My precious here. All right. So like I said, this is oil on canvas and we got a shadow there. All right. So this is just going to be a little deep dive about the structure and how I put this whole thing together, right? So here we have, you can see what I do is I paint a ground color. And that's just a fancy word that means the color that's in the background, that's behind everything. And what it does is, it really kind of sets the mood of the whole piece. And you can see, here, I'm in my studio here. Here we've got a ground color of like a brown. And they're all slightly different. This one's on blue. I like brown. And so that's it. It sets the mood, and it doesn't matter. You've probably seen this. People who are painting, it's actually good to put down a ground color and not just paint on stark white, because that will just throw you for a loop in terms of, just kind of getting your bearings with the color of the piece. And then, like I said before, this is one of my favorite Fauve pieces. This is a little different than the work that I'm actually doing right now, which is more in the Pointillism style. But for this one, I honestly just said to myself, I want to be loose. I want to be really loose. And so, I took great liberties with, the architecture and just doing very, very minimal drawing, and which again is very, very Fauve. Okay. And just the other thing that is very Fauve is just making a suggestion of something, right? So like you could look at this close up and go, what the heck? Like, what the heck is that? But when you're coming back, okay, it's some kind of undergrowth. It's some kind of a bush. But of course here, this is what I mean when I say I am concerned with form and color, right? So if we just kind of squint your eyes a little bit and forget about the subject matter, just look at the overall shapes, okay? This bush kind of fits nicely right here in this lower right-hand corner. And the colors, I don't care what it is in reality at all. I am concerned with the color choices that affect the entire picture, the picture overall, right? This little roof here, this nice bright red roof, who the heck knows? I just, if I have a sketch or even a photograph, I've got a value. But beyond that, I really don't care. You've got the little red roof here matching the red in the light. The light, I don't think this lighthouse has a red light. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. And then the sky, the pointillism. This pointillism is a lot looser than what I usually do. And actually that made me really happy in this one. Oops, my hand is getting in the way of the focus. Anyway, so if you're looking at the dots, usually for my skies, I get a lot of compliments on my skies, completely and totally divorced from reality. Absolutely and totally. The colors in my skies are just, a combination of the mood that I'm in, but also this is very, before I studied Fauvism, I actually studied abstract expressionism, which I love. I just don't have a knack for completely abstract work, okay? But here is something that I kept from abstract expressionism, and that is, I'm not thinking of what it is. I'm not thinking this is the sky, because when I'm painting, I'm just doing the colored dots, and these are, you can see I've gone over this one. It was red and I changed it to pink. This is just, I'm reacting to the dots that are right next to it, and there is a suggestion. There's a suggestion. That might be a cloud. Doesn't have to be. But yeah, so everything is abstracted. Everything is only suggested. And it leaves you with this kind of, yes, it's a lighthouse. But this is what I love about Fauvism. It's a lighthouse. You recognize it. Your eyeballs can recognize it. But beyond it, the overall shape, yes, it's a bush, it's some trees. It really is so much about the paint and the color. Are you still here? Okay, if you are here after that whole geeky explanation, you deserve a gift. So let's see, what can we do? I'm going to give you a gift from my online gallery, okay? And the coupon, it's going to be a coupon, and the coupon's name is Joy, Joy. Because we are getting close to Christmas and we are sharing the joy of art. So you can go on my online gallery and pick a gift for yourself, any print, and use that coupon JOY, Joy. And it's going to give you 30% off of one of my pieces. And no one's getting that right now, but you are, because you're still here. All right. So, and then also if you want to go big, the link is in my description. All right. See you in the next one.